2000s, then you've probably never heard of businessman reality TV host Donald Trump, who largely disappeared from public spotlight after he retired as the host of Celebrity Apprentice in 2015 for unknown reasons.
So where's the little release? Wow. So there's a little piece of lint. Now it's gone.
London, still unable to decide
That is funny.
to choose, is faced with a Friday deadline by her father. So she encourages her friends to combine all of their ideas into one singular invention. The result, during the product showcase, is a robotic granny who's customizable, plays music, cooks, and fires lasers. Everyone seems impressed. I know that if I were a parent, I want my kid to have one of these. This is a perfect continued representation of the franchise's decline into utter lunacy despite its very grounded beginnings. Unfortunately, Robo Granny quickly goes rogue. It's apparently programmed with the personality of an old white woman as well because it exclusively singles out the person of color as a security concern.
Enemy approaching. Acquired target.
Granny's attempts to boil Mr. Mosby alive in the hot tub are thwarted when frequent non-speaking character Mrs. Gurgley smacks her with her purse and knocks her over. I've never formally mentioned this woman until now, but she shows up every few episodes to hit Zach, and there is never any good sense of comedic timing to it, to the point that I never clocked her existence as a kid and never registered that this was a running gag, despite identifying and enjoying all of the running gags in the concurrently airing Phineas and Ferb. The difference being that show was rather funny. London's devastated that their invention didn't work, and she hides in a closet to cry. New closet set, by the way, interessante. Mosby comes to comfort her, and I think this is a perfect compare and contrast point to examine how far this show's fallen from its beginnings and how dull it's become. In Season 1, Episode 6 of the original series titled The Prince and the Plunger, London sobs in a supply closet when her father, Mr. Tipton, breaks his promise to attend a father-daughter dance with her. Mosby comes to comfort her, and it's a foundational moment to understanding these characters. Now, 123 episodes later, we're just getting echoes of that conversation with flanderized one-note characters and intervening laugh tracks every 4 to 5 seconds. We learn that London owns more shoes than the entirety of Spain, and at one point, died.
Who was the first to wear a solid gold bikini?
Me. You sing like a rock, but I met lots of cute lifeguards and doctors and briefly Elvis.
Mosby then says no one knows shopping better than London, and she's the most uniquely qualified to develop a product because she knows what people buy. London in the end decides to market her custom notebook she had throughout the episode, which is lined with a mirror so she can look at her reflection in class while appearing to study. The kids are annoyed that they won't get any portion of the profit sharing, but London's proud of herself. She doesn't know what gloating is, despite knowing the word in the series pilot.
So you brought us here to gloat? No. Why would I do that?
You realize gloat means to make others feel bad by your success?
Then I guess that is why I called you in here.
London, so nice of you to offer to share your room with Bailey.
Well, I wasn't offering. I was gloating.
This fits in line with the revelation at the end of the Lost at Sea two-parter that London takes a lot of her stupidity for attention and to get undoing work, meaning she may well be lying through her teeth when claiming to not know this word. This episode is
I do like that. I do like those characters. I like characters that they're like, oh, that's a stupid character, but then like you find out later in the season, oh, they fake being stupid for some obscure reason.
Incredibly stupid characters that has to use London as the straight man.
You can depend on me. I won't let that money out of my fight.
Kirby, where's the money?
Out of my sight. If anyone finds a sack filled with $1 million in cash, bring it back to me and you'll get a $100 reward.
In the end, we learned that Kirby simply placed the money in the staff fridge, but couldn't find it because it was behind the salad.
Oh, that explains.
London happily claims his $100 reward,
Neither.
not clocking the fact that he lost her $1 million. Kirby is smarter than her. Once again, balance has been restored.
Once upon a sweet life, 3 fairy tales unfold. She's prettier than you. A queen rejects what she's been told. A hungry witch cooks up a plan.
No, the witch is coming back.
And these are magic beans.
Good evening.
Grow a beanstalk on land. How will these stories end? Find out on the Once Upon a
Thank
Sweet
you.
Life.
I'm way better at
Next Friday at 8, 7
pencil.
Central on Disney Channel.
Next up is Season 2, Episode 21, Once Upon a Sweet Life, where the SS Tipton docks in Germany.
Hello, I'm Mika. I'm from Germany, and Germany is pretty nice. We have pretzel.
All right, class. This week we will be Germany and visiting the Black Forest.
Okay. It's a forest in the middle of Germany and there's no port near it, so already that's a strike. Like there's not even like a giant river near it or
The Black Forest is the setting of countless German fairy tales. So, the students fall asleep in class, and this special 29-minute episode showcases 3 separate dreams which take the shape of classic fairy tales. In the first story, London's dream recreation of Snow White, London, the evil queen, finds herself jealous of Snow White, the only girl who rivals her beauty. This episode sees the long, not-awaited return of London's talking mirror, who this time is not voiced by convicted pedophile Brian Peck,
What?
but sound-alike Michael Arrington.
If it's any consolation, you have a nice personality.
The mirror sounds like a hell of a lost character. I kind of love that they're doing like fairy tales for Germany. I think that's nice. That's like one German thing that I'm happy whenever it does get represented. It's better than the leather pants, but they're gonna show up, I'm sure.
London dispatches her huntsman to eliminate Snow White, but rather he tells her to run away and hide. So Snow White goes to live with the 3 dwarves. When the evil queen receives word Snow White still lives, she travels there herself to feed her a poisoned apple, but gives her the wrong one, and then just gives up and knocks her unconscious.
I brought you a little house warming.
She talks like she's like a fly or something, like from Beast Wars.
It's like wasp vinegar. She's dumped into the forest by the dwarves. That's like a basic iMovie page turn.
I also love how you can see her actual hair like under the wig, like it's starting to poke out. Like look, it's straight up just her normal hair.
There, Prince Charming discovers the Sleeping Beauty and tries to awaken her with a kiss, only to be violently pepper sprayed. It's like a joke from 2016 that accidentally time traveled to 2011. But unlike something from 2016, she still falls in love with her assaulter regardless. London accidentally eats the poison apple and dies. The end. Cody's dream. I'm not even gonna harp on the unlikelihood of Cody falling asleep in class. Is a recreation of Hansel and Gretel.
I called it. I knew it. There we go. By the way, like such a German stereotype. Oh my god, no one wears these except for like one specific celebration in October where the entire purpose is to get drunk. They're just casually wearing it like it's the German thing, and I love it. It's one of my favorite German stereotypes, and I'm happy it's here.
This is why I wanted to leave a trail.
It's a furry, yay.
Thank you.
Accurate to Germany. No, actually, that's a gray squirrel. We don't have those in Germany. It should be red.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I went to Canada for my first Sweet Life of Zack and Cody video. There was a black squirrel, and I'd never seen one before. It blew. I didn't even know they could be that color.
Me neither.
It was just pure black, and it was just waddling around, nibbling, having a gay old time. Loved him. The boys discover the lair of a hideous, creepy old woman who feeds Zack sweet treats with the intent of fattening him up and eating him.
Jesus, sugar mama, no. Also, I will say, like, all the candy is also just, like, it's obviously not German candy. Like, I mean, it's them dreaming, and I believe they're from the US.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that they don't imagine, like, German candy, but stuff like Oreos and, like we call the chocolate chip cookies, we call them American cookies over here. I mean, they're very common over here at this point, so if you, like, obviously now if you say, like, hey, I want a chocolate cookie, you mean one of those, but when you, like, go to a bakery, they're called, like, American cookies.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh, okay. Okay.
He became an American.
You said that. No, I love that he still has, like, the lederhosen just
with him.
Oh, no.
A girl who's been baked into a pie warns Hansel and Gretel to leave before it's too late. After a slapstick chase, Zack is able to squeeze his way out of the situation by convincing the woman that she's beautiful and she simply needs a makeover. There, she's paired off with an underage squirrel, and they run away happily ever after.
Oh, he's got the Bavaria hat, yes. Yeah, like the white and blue stripes, that's like Bavaria, that's the flag of that specific state. I feel like this particular dream would have given a lot of kids like very interesting fetishes when they grew up.
Get 20% off during Hy-Vee's frozen food sack sale. One day only, this Tuesday.
I know these actors were getting paid a lot of money to do this show. But I just feel bad for them. Wow. Tough forest.
Wow, tough forest.
Zach's dream is a retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk, which isn't even a German fairy tale, but that's okay. Zach's mother orders him to sell their cow at the market.
I'm really thirsty. I sure could use a glass of milk.
Don't even think about it.
There he's swindled by a businessman into simply buying beans. You know the drill.
She's all yours. You're gonna need this. Glad that didn't happen while it was in my pocket.
There Zach discovers a harp who won't shut the hell up and a goose who lays golden eggs. Zach sees the goose as his shot to make money for his mother. But a big old giant is not happy about that one bit. Zach descends the beanstalk and his mother smacks him ad nauseum, and this wakes him up. The fairy tale literally doesn't get a resolution whatsoever, because that's just where we're at with this show. It's also way shorter than the other two. I don't see why this third one was even here, because it feels completely tacked on and half-baked. Miss Tutwiler, who notices her class is asleep, leaves to get a foot job.
What?
A blue shirt, that's why the background is blue.
Was it color coordinated? They are color coordinated to their shirts.
That's why they did it.
That's cool, actually. This is the story that the creative team of The Sweet Life on Deck apparently thought was worth extra runtime to tell. A wonderful series. Closing thoughts on how they represented Germany.
Not at all.
And I'm Cole Sprouse from The Sweet Life on Deck, and you are watching Disney Channel.
Wow. Season 2, Episode 22, Marriage 101. It's an excuse for the writers to dunk on Miss Tutwiler's lack of emotional companionship for 22 consecutive minutes.
Now, over the next 2 weeks, you will learn what it's like to be married. Well, what do you know about marriage? Well, have you ever been married? No. Has anyone ever proposed to you? Yeah, well, when was the last time you're even on a date? Times you think that someone's a great guy, and then you find out that his business trips are to visit his girlfriend in Pacoima, and another one in Dubuque, and another one in Pittsburgh. I mean, I should have known. What kind of crossing guard takes business trips?
The class partner is up to experience a practice marriage, to understand the difficulties of living with a partner, and the surprises life throws at you. Bailey and Cody naturally pair up. Woody proposes to Addison, and London pairs herself with Zach, then bribes him into signing a prenup enforced by law to flaunt him around as a trophy husband. Cody and Bailey are as obnoxious as ever, and they deserve to be executed by a firing squad.
Our marriage is going great, isn't it, Bailey Bunny?
It sure is, Cody Kitten.
You two should be spayed and neutered.
Tutwiler spins a wheel to simulate surprising life changes. Cody pretend breaks both of his legs in an accident and becomes bedridden. Zach switches careers from a sanitation engineer, which is what an aptitude test in the previous show's season 2 finale Aptitude indicated he would one day have as a profession, to a circus clown. Woody and Addison introduce a child, the role being filled by Marcus.
How did this happen?
Addison has a lot of explaining to do here, not gonna lie. Bailey tends to Cody's every need, like tucking him in, vacuuming his room, putting his clothes away, and becomes sick and tired of his constant criticism as she misses minute details that seem essential to his persnickety-ass brain. Basically, it's the SpongeBob episode where Squidward refuses to move out of SpongeBob's house. Miss Tutwiler hosts a couples challenge, where all three couples are equally inept, and no one manages to score a single solitary point.
What is the last book your spouse read?
For some reason, it's on the sky deck. Who is this crowd? Are a bunch of teenagers simulating marriage as a class assignment the in-cruise entertainment for the passengers of the SS Tipton? We're well past the time of the franchise where we receive explanations for what's happening. Ultimately, all couples fall to infighting, with Woody not wanting kids contrasting with Addison's desire for billions, if not trillions of children.
Well, I love you too, Dad.
Bailey and Cody have a public blowout about his neediness and her lack of attention to detail, I guess. And they break up here and there.
If this is how you're going to treat me when we're really married, then I don't think we have a future.
I agree. Thank you, Miss Tutwiler. The second you from wasting my life with the black hole of need.
You're an unemployed, uneducated leech on society. And the only thing I would vote to give you is a handful of antidepressants so that no one else has to be subjected to your constant crying anymore.
Damn, I should watch Survivor.
What Bailey and Cody had was so good that Bailey simply can't let it go.
I have rarely seen a couple as perfectly matched as you and Cody.
And like, what? For those keeping score, they have a dysfunctional fight like every 4 episodes. This entire story was a 22-minute demonstration of their complete lack of any emotional maturity or compatibility whatsoever. Miss Tutwiler saying this frankly proves she is the least qualified to provide any relationship advice whatsoever, which I think the show would agree with me on. Thankfully, Cody and Bailey aren't one to give up on each other, and we have an episodic status quo to maintain. So Cody arrives to apologize, and the two maintain their relationship, surely to never have any problems with each other again.
I'll never find anyone as good as you.
I'll never find anyone as good as you either.
And I'll never find anyone.
Stay on board. We'll be right back to the Sweet Life on Deck here on Disney XD.
Quick aside, my team and I are working on
Was Sweet Life on Deck on
animated
Disney
pilot which
XD?
follows the exploits of a ghost hunting curriculum at a rundown haunted community college. It will release eventually, and you'll watch it on the internet.
I don't remember
Sometimes
that.
you get to hear about something like 5 to 7 times before you really remember it. So that's just what I'm doing. You know, it's like how Mr. Beast plugs Feastables 9 times per video. That's what I'm doing. Okay, bye. Back to Zach and Cody.
And now back to your fan pick Sweet Life on Deck episode.
Targaryens are gone.
Targaryens are gone.
Not all of them.
Thank God. My reign has just begun.
Model Behavior is an episode with a lot of moving parts and overlapping storylines, and lots of running gags operating within the individual storylines. Let me break it down for your tiny baby brains to understand. Let me chew your meal for you, babes, and spit it into your mouth. This story is one of the Sweet Life on Deck's final walk-on guest star episodes to feature recurring characters from the Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. These being British twins Jessica and Janice, who Zach and Cody dated on and off through the 2nd season. This is also the only returning guest star episode that I have no memory of whatsoever, down to not even recalling these characters despite frequent appearances in the last show. As I observed while watching, Zach and Cody sort of interchangeably dated them sporadically, and there was no consistency in regards to whether Zach was dating Jessica, Zach was dating Janice, Cody was dating Jessica, or Cody was dating Janice. It was a 4-way square polyamorous incest, and all 4 kids were perfectly happy with it.
We think it's wonderful to see a boy who expresses his emotions. Mwah.
And my favorite part is that there were multiple episodes in between featuring other love interests for Zach and Cody. This episode also explicitly references the old season 2 episode, Movies.
We took him to the movies.
Jessica and Janice are currently members of a modeling agency, boarding the SS Tipton for a photo shoot. Cody is horribly thrown off by his ex being around Bailey, and comes to believe that Bailey is jealous when she isn't, and comes to believe that Jessica still has strong feelings for him and is coming on to him when she isn't.
When it comes to Jessica, you have nothing to worry about.
Oh, I'm not worried.
Now I get why you would be jealous with her being a model and all, but it's
Thank you.
completely unwarranted.
I'm not jealous.
Methinks the lady doth protest too much.
Look, I've kinda got a big problem. You see my girlfriend Bailey? She's the jealous type.
Really? She didn't come across that way.
Oh, trust me, she is. So I would just appreciate it if you would play down what we had together.
What did we have?
Boom, exactly. You know what? Thanks for being a help. You're a great friend. Come on. Bailey, it's not what it looks like. Jessica was teaching me how to samba. Is it hot in here?
No. I'll go get you some ice water. Do you want anything?
Oh, how sweet.
No thanks.
Wow.
apologize for Bailey's behavior. She's obviously crazed with jealousy.
An actually jealous London wants to join the photo shoot as a model and presents a certificate signed by the president and Congress decreeing that she is the prettiest woman in the world. The manager, Cindy, is hesitant to let London join because she is exclusively using experienced, professional models and London has no modeling experience. Please disregard the fact that Jessica and Janice explicitly state in the very next scene that this is their very first modeling job, and the fact that London has modeling experience from the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody Season 2 episode, Health and Fitness.
Good day.
Fortunately, Mr. Tipton assists London by simply purchasing the modeling agency himself from Cindy with a quick phone call.
How much?
Janice has clear residual feelings for Zack, who she still finds attractive. Zack, though, only finds all of the other models attractive, and to engineer a reason to spend more time with them, opts to throw a party on the sky deck past the model's curfew while Cindy's downstairs, and Mosby's away in Florida for a reunion of his roller skating derby team that he, of course, has. As introducing random absurd aspects of this character's backstory has been a staple since the beginning, even if the diminishing returns are evident. This is notably the second time the SS Tipton has docked in Florida, the first being Season 1's Flowers and Chocolate. Both episodes take place entirely on the boat, and Florida is only half-heartedly mentioned. In the original series, Jessica and Janice would regularly mimic each other's sentences.
So romantic. Really romantic.
Here they've grown far more independent.
This is so exciting. Really exciting. Janice, just once can't you come up with your own adjective?
Love the character development. With Mosby gone, Zack's free to throw an unauthorized bouncy castle party on the central sky deck of the ship, as if Mr. Mosby is somehow the only adult authority figure capable of stopping him from doing this. The girls have a wonderful time, and London wants to get rid of all of them. Fortunately, having permission to get rid of anyone she doesn't like signed by the president and Congress. Marcus distracts her by giving her an air mattress to inflate with her bare lungs, and I believe this is the very same mattress Maddie Fitzpatrick inflated during her guest appearance in Season 1's Maddie on Deck. When Cindy starts to head up to the sky deck, Woody, who's recently had his braces removed, is given a makeover to resemble a model and distract her. He assumes the mantle of Woodlander, because every Disney Channel sitcom episode from the 2000s is just riffing on an early 2000s adult comedy movie and making them considerably less funny. Woodlander's distraction.
Maybe they're hiding in your hair.
It's got to be tied.
When I want to feel my most powerful, it starts with Venus. With 5 ultra-sharp blades and water-activated serums for incredible glide, I feel the difference with every stroke. Feel the power of smooth.
Mosby naturally recognizes Woody and immediately identifies something's amiss, among us. As they enter the elevator, Woody exhibits quick thinking for the first time in his entire life, and he fucks up the control panel, stranding it in the shaft. Mosby and Cindy spend several minutes trapped in the elevator, as he climbs on her shoulders to access a vent. So I've got to hand it to this actress, Kathy Lee Gifford, special guest star, for being one of the show's few guest actors who can match the energy of Phil Lewis as a scene partner.
No, not talking preserves precious oxygen.
All my so-called friends just disappeared. Even my kids wouldn't take a picture with me.
I get it. People don't want to spend time with you. Add me to the list.
Jessica and Bailey meet up and discuss how Cody is a bit of a quirkster, casually chatting as pals.
Honestly, I'm not even sure he's the one I dated.
Unfortunately, Bailey's hand gets stuck in Jessica's hair, and Cody mistakes this for a fight, where he comes by to demonstrate that he is just the worst.
Don't fight over me. I'm just not worth it.
Jessica and Bailey simply entertain Cody's male fantasy by pretending they were fighting due to jealousy, and his superb conflict resolution skills put their issue to rest.
Do you think he balls it?
Hook, line, and sinker.
Women power. Mosby and Cindy escape and arrive on the sky deck, where the last of the bouncy castles have been thrown overboard and the model stuck beneath the counter. The boys seemingly escape undetected, only to be punished off screen and told by Mosby to clean all of the inner tubes and floaties out of shark-infested waters. Zack's disappointed that none of the girls seemed interested in him. He spent the party stamping his phone number on their faces, by the way. Janice tells him she was interested in him all along, but he was too ignorant to notice. But it's too late now because she introduces her new boyfriend, Woodlander.
I knew I would land her.
Okay, that was pretty good. This episode introduces an interesting continuity note. Early in the story, Mosby says he's not even 40 years old.
And for the record, I'm not even 40.
In the previous show, Season 2's free tipping established that 65 is a mandatory retirement age at the Tipton hotels, and in Season 3's A Tale of Two Houses, Mr. Mosby says he's 26 years away from retirement, thus placing Mosby at 39 years old at the time. There, Zach and Cody are early into their freshman year of high school. For this statement to not be an error, for Mosby to still be below 40 years old, the entirety of the Sweet Life on Deck has to have occurred within the same year as Season 3's A Tale of Two Houses, placing Zach and Cody early in their sophomore year. Seeing how the Lost at Sea two-parter was the start of a new school year, that would mean the last 14 episodes must have taken place within a couple weeks. At the story's end, London is cut out of all the photos in the photo shoot, Sydney's excuse being that London was too gorgeous and distracted from the other models.
That is such a load of sheer genius.
As the models leave, Zach proves that old habits die hard, as he once again disguises himself as a woman to stay in the company of a room full of models. He's pulled aside by Mosby, where he's skinned alive by a firing squad off-screen.
Friday, check out this lamp, a discovery in Morocco.
We got a ready to win. You're a genie?
No, I'm a lawyer wearing a turban.
My friend's a witch. To one lucky passenger.
Stop her before she wishes for something stupidly wrong.
All new Sweet Life on Deck. Friday at 8, 7 Central, part of night of premieres on Disney Channel.
In Rock the Casbah, the SS Tipton docks in Morocco.
Hello, I go by Cream and I'm from Morocco.
So does this feel like an authentic depiction of a marketplace you might see in Morocco?
Honestly, now that I look at it up close, most of the decoration doesn't feel Moroccan. It doesn't give me a Moroccan feel.
The gang visits a marketplace and Cody eyes a pair of earrings he wants to purchase for Bailey. Zach tells Cody to let him do the negotiation, but Zach's bartering backfires, and the two of them leave empty-handed with the price settling far higher than it used to be. And another customer swiftly purchases them.
The haggling is a Moroccan thing for sure.
Zach feels bad for ruining his brother's chances and agrees to slave away for Youssef the salesman to get another pair. Youssef has a specific task for Zach. His mother is trying to open a restaurant. Zach simply has to eat the food and tell her it's good to encourage her. What precedes is a sequence of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom-esque cultural insensitivity with the shit Zach eats and spits out.
I have a bad feeling about where
Oh
this is
my
going.
god. No, don't do this, no. No.
Eyeballs, gold eyeballs to be exact.
No, we don't. There is only one exception, and it's on the day of Eid, when we what's I'm gonna say, slaughter sheep. There is a tradition within the older generation that's when once the head is cooked, you can eat the eyes, but it's only once a year, and not most people do it. Other than that, you can't even get your hands on so many eyes unless you're a butcher.
Oh, those aren't the chocolate chips. They are beetles. Eat fast or they try to scurry out of your mouth.
We don't eat insects. That's not an Arabic thing in general, but not just Moroccan. The mom's outfit is not Moroccan at all. It doesn't feel Moroccan at all. That's not how you tie a scarf. Half her head is exposed. That's barely a thing here. Especially if it's someone older. They would never do that.
Boys, yalla! I have found one more pair of those earrings. I saved them just for you.
Does this seem like an authentic accent to you?
No, not at all. That sounded Egyptian, not Moroccan.
In the B story, Bailey
That sounded Egyptian, not Moroccan.
In the B story, Bailey comes away with a magic lamp, which Marcus, London, and Woody suspect to be magical due to a series of coincidences. Or are they?
Oh no.
Yeah, they're just going with the Aladdin route. It's just...
Don't do this, no. It's a Middle Eastern thing, not Moroccan. That just doesn't fit. If they wanted to do something Middle Eastern, they could have set it in Egypt or something like that. That scarf on Bailey is kind of inappropriate. Scarves like those aren't worn like that. They're worn by belly dancers. You wouldn't see someone with that type of scarf in public. Also, the carpet design is not Moroccan at all.
Everyone fights over who gets to use Bailey's magic lamp. After a ridiculously long time-padding dream where everyone's wishes are granted, Bailey wakes up and decides that none of her selfish friends should get the luxury of rubbing the lamp. Everyone chases her around to get it. London seemingly doesn't recognize a camel.
Big dog! Another big dog!
Despite having claimed to kiss one in the original series episode Aptitude.
London, how was Morocco?
Oh, great! I kissed a camel.
With London being established as a huge celebrity there, and Maddie saving the Moroccan ambassador from choking to death. That seems to have been completely forgotten about by the writers' room, with no mention to those preceding events, or London's celebrity status. The lamp ultimately lands in Cody's hands, who cluelessly wishes he could have gotten the earrings for Bailey. Just then Zach arrives, having finally procured them for the original price. Cody and Bailey hug, and Zach throws up in a bucket.
Nothing about the episode gave me a Moroccan feel. It just gave a distinctly Arabic feel, like in dystopia where only the Middle East exists as Arabic. I don't know what I expected from Disney Channel from the 2000s to 2010s.
You're all looking for something new. At US Cellular, new and current customers can get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Fold 6 on us.
I usually just try out a new look, but that sounded lit.
I heard their cameras have new Galaxy AI features.
Have what?
Galaxy AI.
Gonna get one now.
New and current customers get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6 or Z Fold 6 on us. US
What day is it?
built for
It's
us.
29th.
I'm running to be president of the United States, and I need you with me in this fight. So I am asking you to pitch in to help me defeat Donald Trump. We have a lot of work to do, and just about 100 days to do it. So the earlier you chip in, the greater
Stop
your impact will be.
begging me for money. I'm broke. What time is it? Can you believe I did this in 30
In
minutes?
I Break for Whales, Zach and Cody commit an actual terrorist act on international waters. Bailey and Cody have adopted blue whales and are tracking a whale pod across the vast ocean.
She's a beauty. Look at her shape.
The gentle curves of her body.
The way the water glistens off her skin. Ooh. Is that the new swimsuit issue?
Much to their horror, they discover the pod is on an imminent collision course with the SS Tipton, where the propellers pose a massive risk to the safety of the whales. The forever off-screen Captain Lunsford refuses to stop the boat because, as it turns out, the SS Tipton is sailing towards a ribbon-cutting ceremony of a brand new Tipton hotel in Valparaiso. Out of options, environmentalists Cody and Bailey decide to break into the ship's engine room, cut power, and lock themselves inside until the pod safely passes. Marcus is trying to sample whale sounds for a new single he's working on called Baby I'm a Humpback, where he dangles his tape recorder into the water from the top deck of cruise ship rather than, say, any lower deck. That comes just because, basically, this is the first episode of the show in a very, very long time where it's actually relevant that the series takes place on a boat. The Lost at Sea two-parter is the most recent example, unless you count Bermuda Triangle over an oceanographic landmark as a plot point, but the boat and seafaring aspect of the premise don't really matter. But I'm a bit confused by the conflict here because the cruise ship being on a direct collision course with a pod of blue whales would be bad for the cruise ship itself, yes? And the passengers? Am I insane? Now Zach, Cody, Bailey, and Marcus, wearing intimidating disguises, hack the Mosby's laptop and make their intentions clear.
We're soldiers of the Endangered Animal Protection League.
I thought we were the League of Endangered Animal Protectors.
Somebody already had that website, Mrs. Pink.
With no method of breaking through the door, Mosby orders the heat turned on in the engine room.
Kirby! Can you not get through the door? Oh, you can't get through this door. I'm making a grilled cheese sandwich.
There's been 5 Kirby food jokes by the 9-minute mark of this episode, by the way.
Well, we tried. Who wants a sandwich?
Mosby and London have the idea to sneak in through the air ducts, and for reasons that are never explained, because the only objective was to be a bit silly. Kirby is sent into the engine room through the vent system and collapses inside. There, they quickly change his mind by showing him a 10-second nature documentary shaming mankind.
Nature's gentle giant of the deep. Oh, they're cute. Once they were plentiful until man undid them for their oil-rich insides. Shame on you, mankind. Shame. The horror!
Now he opts to stay aligned with the kids in protest against the ship's travels, forcing Mosby and London to readjust their plan.
The ship is still not going. Vroom, vroom. That means I'm not getting my clink, clink, and Daddy's waiting for me. Tick-tock. Soon I'm gonna start going wham, wham.
London used to talk like a normal person. Oxford Languages defines terrorism as the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of political aims. While there's clearly no violence in play,
My phone's
the
about
fact
to
that they're
die.
intimidating and imprisoning a group of civilians while making threatening messages is blatant intimidation, as is this. Zach and Cody are terrorists. You could argue, and I am. London's able to break into the engine room with no further plan of how to escape or resolve the situation. She claims her bathtub is 100 feet long. No, it literally isn't, girl. We've seen your bathtub. You live in a hotel. What's next? Mosby tries to trick the kids into believing the whales have been spotted safely passing by playing footage of Free Billy. After this doesn't work, he breaks into the engine room himself. He's so mad that the entire wall shakes when he hits it. But fortunately, he's easily swayed by the same 10-second nature documentary. It completely changes his tune.
Shame on you, mankind. Shame.
I like the idea that these 10 seconds can literally change the opinion of everyone who watches them, like a psyop. So Mosby makes a sacrifice and decides to stay in the engine room to let the kids escape the heat exhaustion. And he totally could have betrayed them here and just got the ship going again once they left, but he didn't. He's a good man, because it was one damn convincing 10-second nature documentary. The ship misses the ribbon-cutting ceremony, much to Mr. Tipton's dismay, but it's okay because the whales are saved. This episode's closing scene is one of the most mind-numbingly confusing things I've ever seen. The whale pod swims by the SS Tipton, which has stayed stationary for hours and hours and hours, and everyone watches in awe and wonder. I'm sorry, but if these two entities were on a direct collision course, couldn't you have just stopped the ship for like 1 hour and then resumed forward motion? How the hell did the whale pod end up right beside the ship, close enough to spray Mosby with blowhole cum? I needed that. Wasn't the entire goal of their protest to keep the whales as far away from the SS Tipton as possible? They literally could have kept going without stopping whatsoever, and if they had, they wouldn't have ended up even remotely close to the whale pod. Shoot them with a dehydration gun! But not a single character acknowledges their stunning tactical failure. Everyone serenades their personal adopted whale, having accomplished not a single thing today except for instilling a sense of fear and panic in thousands of civilians trapped by terrorists in the middle of the ocean.
It probably made them forget he just clear-cut a rainforest the size of Texas.